Liverpool walk in to the final day of the season on 94 points with the possibility of getting 97 when we play against Wolves on Sunday. Massive, massive game for us, massive game for them, I think, as well. I don't know what the permutations of the Europa League and stuff like that means for Wolves, but if they finish 7th, I don't know if that means they get something in the Europa League. But for us, it gives us a chance to say we did our best on the final day of the season and we've tried to win the title in some way. You know, after what has been a negative week, in my opinion, or it was a negative week at the start of the week when you're looking at Monday and you see Vincent Kompany absolutely banging one against Leicester to put them back top and put them in the driving seat firmly to go and win the league title, and then we go to Anfield on Tuesday against Barcelona and magically turn around a 3-0 deficit and win 4-0. We do not concede against Barcelona. We did not concede against Messi. Didn't concede against Suarez. Didn't concede against Coutinho. The 2 seasons that he's been in the Champions League, or he's been, you know, since he's left Liverpool, they haven't won the Champions League. Anyway, so we move on to Liverpool versus Wolves. Liverpool versus Wolves is going to be a difficult game. It's going to be a difficult, hard game, a tough testing game. One where I would love us to keep a clean sheet. I'm not sure if we will. Maybe that will be decided on our defensive options at the back and who actually plays in those positions, which I'll go through in just a second anyway. But it's going to be a difficult game, and I think that we have to go out there. I think we have to go out there as strong as we can. There's 3 weeks-ish between now and the Champions League final. And I think that there's no reason why we couldn't A, go out there with our strongest team, and then B, have some options on the bench as well, like one of the younger guys, Ryan Brewster, or even have someone like a Shaqiri, a Sturridge on there as well. There's going to be no Firmino in this game because he's still got a little bit of a muscle thigh issue or something like that, but should apparently be ready for the Champions League final, but that's not confirmed either yet. Anyway, so let's go from back to front. We're going to go with Alisson in goal, Andy Robertson, Virgil van Dijk. I'm going to go with Matip, because I don't know whether Gomez would be ready, but if Gomez is ready and they want to give Matip a rest, put Gomez in there. Some people might say, oh, what about Lovren? What about Lovren? Then we're going to have Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back. And then in the midfield, I'd love to see a Wijnaldum, Fabinho and Henderson midfield. I think it's one of our best options right now, especially with Naby Keita being injured for a good little while longer. With him out, then this is the best midfield that I think that we could go with. Wijnaldum, obviously, doing absolute bits against Barcelona when he came on at half-time. Henderson working his absolute bollocks off into the ground. Fabinho. He's fab. He's absolutely unreal. Needs to be in there as well. Then we go to the front line. Salah is past fit for this game. He can play, and I imagine that he will play. Mane on the left-hand side. Why not? The Senegalese absolute legend, he's unreal, he's magnificent. And then up front, Divock Origi. Now, some people may go, oh, Divock Origi. I don't think anyone outside, I think maybe people outside the Liverpool fan base is going to go like, oh, you're going with Origi. Yeah, we're going with Origi. We're going with Origi, the guy who scored 2 goals against Barcelona. Yeah, we're going with that guy. We're going with the best Belgian in the Premier League. He's going up front. Of course it's happening. He's a hero. He's magnificent. He's ace. Yeah, it's happening. And you know what? More importantly, he deserves it. He deserves to play up front last game of the season or wherever he plays. I hope it's up front though, because he's an absolute unit. I'd much rather have him up front and Mane on the left instead of switched round. It does work sometimes. Mane up front does work sometimes. But if you've got Origi, put him in the middle. Just put him in the middle. You know, he's a Belgian machine. It should happen. That's how I think that we're going to line up anyway. I think you've got opportunities on the bench with like a Ryan Brewster, one of the younger guys that could feature possibly. Oxlade-Chamberlain, I don't know if he's going to be past fit. Maybe that's someone that can feature on the bench as well. Sturridge will be there, Shaqiri. We've got options from the bench basically, and then we've got defensive options like Lovren and Gomez, who I imagine they'll be on the bench. Don't know if Luan is still hanging around, but he probably is somewhere with some magnificent hair as well. So, how do I see this going down against Wolves? Wolves played very good football. They recruited very well the season before they got in the Premier League when they were trying to win the Championship. Then they went and smashed the Championship and came into the Premier League, recruited a little bit more, and they've done very, very well. I think they're 7th in the league right now, and they want to secure I think, is it like not a guaranteed place in the Europa League, but if something happens in the if something happens in the FA Cup or something like that, then they would get like a slot or like qualifying place. They have to play qualifiers or something. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. And there's a couple of teams that are vying for that 7th place finish, I think, like Everton and maybe Leicester, possibly. Might have that wrong. But yeah, they've done very, very well. They have shown what you should do in the Championship in terms of recruitment to then come into the Premier League ready to compete. Because they've done very, very well against top 6 sides. They've done well against, they knocked us out of a cup. We beat them in the Premier League in the away fixture when we played them away. Now we play them at Anfield. I feel that we can get the victory, definitely, absolutely. But this is going to be a really difficult game and difficult opposition with good players and a good system of play. They don't just sit back against big teams and hope and try and soak up the pressure and then counter. They try and play. They play football, which is very, very good. You know, they've done very, very well to do what they've done this season, and we'll only look to build on that next season as well. So, how do I think it's going to go down between Liverpool and Wolves? I personally feel that we can go out there and get a 2-0 victory. Now, whether we do or not, I don't know. It depends on defensive selections and who's actually going to be available, what are we going to go with, and what lineup are we going to start with. Are we going to go as strong as possible, which I think, yes, we should. But other people disagree and think that maybe we should try a couple of other people. Got the Champions League final to worry about, but we still have one of the biggest outside chances to actually win the league title. Something could happen. Man City versus Brighton. Something could happen. Both teams, Man City and Liverpool, we have to win our games. We can't draw, because then if Man City lose, they would still win on goal difference. They can't draw, because if they draw and we win the league. But we can't draw and then they draw, because they would win the league. That's how tight it is right now. That's how tight it is right now. So something could happen. We have to go out there and play as if something is going to happen. Do our best, get our 3 points, and see what happens from there. That's all we can do. There's nothing else we can do. These games are going to be played at the exact same time. They're probably not going to finish exactly at the same time, but they're played at exactly the same time. So you're going to know by 45 minutes, 60, 70, 80 minutes, whatever, how the game's going to go. And I'm just going to enjoy Liverpool playing. I really am. I'm going to enjoy how they play. I am going to do a season review of Liverpool. I'm going to pick out parts that were negative, pick out the parts that are positive, but I am going to do a season review of it. Maybe next week, something like that sometime. But that's what I think we can do. A 2-0 victory, which would give Alisson the Golden Glove, well deserved. And yeah, I think that's what we'll do. 2-0 against Wolves. I do personally believe Man City will beat Brighton, which would put us second, but we can't predict any of that properly anyway. Let me know what you think Let me know what you think in the comments below. How do you think this game's going to go down? Can Liverpool get the victory, and can a result happen in Man City versus Brighton? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. Thank you for watching any or all of the previews this season. I really do appreciate your time watching these, and any comments, shares and likes that you've given. Thank you ever so much for watching. I will do a review of this game, and I'll review all of Sunday's games next week. Thanks again, and I'll catch you later.